Undertale? More like holy shit, best game of the year! If you haven't played this game, borrow $10 from your mom, take it to the bank, deposit it in your account, go back home, transfer it into your Steam wallet, and play this shit. But for you unlucky few who still haven't played Undertale, the story goes something like this. You fall down a hole in a mountain, find out you're in a monster world, and need to pass through an impassable barrier to get back to the human world. And there's 3 ways to go about completing this feat. You can attempt a pacifist run, wherein you don't kill anything throughout the entire game, a neutral run, where you kill or don't kill as you please, and a genocide run, where you go out of your way to destroy literally every monster in your path and hunt ones you missed. Oh, and by the way, in case somehow you didn't realize this, everything in this entire video is going to be a spoiler. So if you want to play Undertale without knowing the story and what it means, run! If you're still with us, let us take you on a journey through an amazing game, filled with good and evil, love and loss, determination and determination, and lots of terrible puns. Beneath the humorous dialogue and quirky characters are not one, but many deep lessons to be learned from this game. To find these truths, we have to ask, what does the genocide run mean? Or the pacifist route? How does the boring neutral path fit into all of this? And where can I find a papyrus cosplay? Upon answering all of these, we'll realize that crazy man Toby Fox has taught us something beyond value. So change your font to Comic Sans. Let's pun through the story you never knew. At the beginning of the game, your character falls down a hole in a mountain and is found by a cute little flower, appropriately named Flowey. The adorable little guy describes how nice it can be in Monsterland. Flowey then sends some friendliness pellets for you to catch, and oh god! The son of a bitch turns evil and says there is only one rule in the underground: to kill or be killed. But right before it looks like Flowey is going to kick your ass, a weird goat in a dress scares him away. I couldn't trust that flower, but I'm sure a goat wearing a dress won't fuck us over. Goat Mom, also named Toriel, brings us through the tutorial of the game, explaining the different ways to deal with monsters, but attempts to persuade us not to kill. This is where we get the option of what path to choose. So let's begin with the genocide run, because everyone loves some good genocide. Hey, can I get my eggs over easy with a side of genocide? There's many differences between this route and the others. As you progress through the game, much like with Pokemon, random monsters will come across your path. When you do encounter a monster, you have many options on how to deal with them. You can fight them, of course, but you also have the ability to perform certain actions. Each monster allows different actions, such as talking to them, flirting with them, joking with them, petting them. There's a bunch of different possibilities. Doing the correct actions in the correct order will allow you to spare a monster instead of fighting it. The game literally gives you the opportunity to avoid fighting and killing. Unlike many games where the sole purpose of battle is to win, Undertale not only gives you the option, but encourages you to not fight. This is the first of many lessons Undertale tries to instill. But fuck that, we're doing a genocide run, so we kill everything in our path. But it's not just killing everything in our path, it's killing everything everywhere! Completing a true genocide run makes the player go out of their way to kill monsters. Unlike in Pokemon, there are a finite number of monsters per area. To complete a genocide run, the player has to kill all monsters in the entire game. This means staying in areas and walking around with the sole purpose of cold-blooded murder. Again, here the game is letting the player get away without killing anything. So if a player really wants to be an asshole, they have to go out of their way to do it. Seems like we've learned another lesson from Undertale already. You have to go out of your way to be a douche and inflict pain. It doesn't happen naturally, so you kill everything, gaining more EXP and growing in LV. In every other game in the world, these things are good to grow in. But in Undertale, EXP doesn't stand for experience. LV doesn't stand for level. Towards the end of the game, this is explained to us by our good buddy Sans, who seems like a real bonehead. He explains that EXP stands for execution points and LV means level of violence. Couldn't have made that a little more clear earlier in the game, Toby? Some of us were just trying to become the strongest we could be. Oh, I get it. Becoming stronger than everyone else doesn't necessarily make you better than everyone else. And in Undertale, it does the exact opposite. It makes you the worst. The worst part of the entire Genocide Run is that you have to kill Sans. The laughing slack-off of a skeleton is perhaps the funniest and nicest person you meet in the entire game, and wants to be your friend from the very beginning. But you have to destroy him to progress further. And to destroy him, you literally have to break the game and attack him on his own turn. Toby is showing us through gameplay just how determined you have to be to become a horrible person. It isn't easy. It won't happen immediately. It takes time to hone your skills and truly descend into evil. We become so ridiculously powerful and filled with bloodlust that we destroy Asgore, supposedly the strongest of the monsters, in one shot. And Flowey, that horrific flower at the beginning of the game, begs us not to kill him. You, not the character, but you yourself have made Flowey realize that kill or be killed does not work, because eventually, you will be killed. Take that, you flowery bitch! Flowey is then crushed and cut over and over and over by us. But it isn't us. It's Chara, the first child to set foot in the underground. Okay, so we're going pretty fast here, so let me explain. The intro shows a young child who falls down Mount Ebot in 2016. The child has a striped shirt and shoulder-length hair, which pretty much matches the appearance of our character. But through the events of the game, and again, absolutely gigantic Pangea-sized spoilers here, we find out that the child in that intro isn't the character we've been playing the whole game. It's another human whose canon name is Chara, the first human to fall down Mount Ebot. We don't know if Chara is a boy or a girl, as they are referred to with gender-neutral pronouns like they and them every time. The same goes for the player character, who, by the way, is named Frisk and is the 8th human to fall down Mount Ebot. Remember when you named your character at the beginning of the game? Guess what? You didn't. You actually named the first fallen human whose canon name is Chara. Confused? Here's a helpful chart. Aren't charts the best? This is the last and most intense of the mindfucks that Toby propels onto our fragile brains. First, it was Flowey pulling that demonic daisy bullshit. Then, after a long list of bad guys who turn out to be nice and become our friends, the return of Flowey, the reveal of Asgore, and so many more surprises along the way, Toby, that sly fox, hits us with this. We haven't been playing as the character we thought we were for the entire game. And the first fallen child, Chara, the character you actually name at the beginning of the game, is really meant to have your name. This will all make more sense in a bit. For now, it's important to understand that Frisk and Chara look nearly identical, have the same colored soul, and when Frisk first fell down Mount Ebot, they landed on the bed of flowers directly above where Chara is buried. Coincidence? I think not. But Coinky Dinker, no. This person is back from the dead. But why? Because of us. Chara reveals to us that they resurrected from the dead in a monologue at the very end of the Genocide Run. Chara isn't met at all in a neutral or pacifist playthrough, and that's because every EXP point, every LV we gained gives Chara power. It's only when we truly destroy everything before us that Chara comes back to life. They explain it to us in a gripping, way too scary for a retro game scene. That's exactly what Chara represents. Power. Remember that old saying, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely? Well, good old Toby Fox is giving us an up-close and personal lesson on that exact subject. For at the very end of a Genocide Run, after Chara's disturbing silent monologue, they give you a choice. Erase this world and move on to the next, or do not. If the player picks do not, Chara does this. And they destroy the game world anyway. This tiny boy girl that looks just like our character and is supposed to be named after our real name is the thirst for power that resides in all of us. We all have them somewhere deep inside. HP, attack, defense, gold, EXP, LV. Every time a number increases, that feeling, that's them. Eventually, after feeding it enough, the thirst for power becomes so strong, so all-consuming that we can't control it anymore. It controls us, which is exactly what happens in Undertale. We slowly lose control over our character until Frisk becomes Chara entirely and takes control of the game away from us. We gained so much power that the power controlled our fate in the end, and that power destroys worlds. Remember how towards the end of a Genocide playthrough, more and more monsters weren't recognizing you as human? That's right, as you killed, you were literally stripping yourself of your humanity. If after a Genocide run, part of you thought, hey, it's fine, I'll just not kill anybody in my next run to make up for it, I have some bad news for you. If you complete a pacifist run after completing a Genocide run, the Genocide run doesn't just get erased. The game remembers, and Chara is still there. If you choose to stay with Goat Mom at the end of the game, this happens. If you choose to say you have places to go, the nice photograph with you and all of your friends turns into something not so nice. Completing a pacifist run after a Genocide run is actually the worst ending. Chara has not only destroyed the monster world, but now, with the barrier separating humans from monsters destroyed, Chara is free to destroy the human world too. Unfortunately, your good deeds haven't made up for the atrocities you've already committed. And so, in a game filled with lovable, funny characters and many wonderful progressive themes, the true moral of the story is something supremely dark. It's something that lives in all of us, a separate entity that has the power to take us over if we let it. It's something that, if we let it grow, destroys worlds. And that's the story you never knew. If you've recovered enough to scoop the poop out of your pants, be sure to check out our live streams. We're finishing up an Undertale Genocide run right now, so if you want to see the lessons Toby Fox is teaching us up close and personal, come hang out with us. Or, if you just want to see more videos where we think way too hard about the meaning of video games, click that subscribe button. It's completely free and makes this number go up, which is coolio. Rad! Hit you bras up in the next episode.